Have you ever talked to someone and kept wondering, do they actually like me? Or am I reading too much into this? Sometimes interest is confusing because small signals can feel bigger when we already hope they mean something. A message, a smile, a quick reply, or a little attention can start a whole story in our mind. In this video, we will look at what real interest usually looks like, what people often misread, and how to understand the signs more clearly. Welcome to Love for Beginners. Today, we're exploring a question that stands behind almost every human experience: how to tell if they're actually interested, and what happens when this part of life becomes confusing, missing, or difficult to understand. Let's get into it. Trying to understand whether someone is interested can feel simple from the outside, but confusing when emotions are involved. When you like someone, your attention becomes sharper. You notice how fast they reply, how they look at you, what words they use, and whether they seem different around you. This is normal. Attraction makes people more sensitive to signals, but not every signal means what we hope it means. One of the biggest mistakes people make is looking at one moment instead of a pattern. A person smiling at you once does not always mean interest. A person replying quickly once does not always mean they are emotionally invested. A person liking one post does not automatically mean they want something deeper. Real interest is usually not shown through one isolated action. It becomes clearer through repeated behavior over time. A strong sign of interest is consistent effort. Consistency does not mean someone is available all day or answers every message immediately. People have school, work, family, responsibilities, and personal space. But when someone is genuinely interested, their effort usually does not feel completely random. They find ways to continue the conversation, check in, remember things, and stay present in a way that feels steady. Another sign is curiosity. When someone is interested, they usually want to know more about you. They ask questions, listen to your answers, and remember details later. They are not only talking about themselves or waiting for attention. Their curiosity may be quiet or simple, but it is there. They want to understand your thoughts, your interests, your humor, your goals, and the small things that make you who you are. Mutual conversation is also important. If you are always the one starting, asking, planning, and keeping the connection alive, that may tell you something. Some people are shy or slow to open up, so one-sided energy at the very beginning is not always a final answer. But over time, interest usually creates participation. A person who is interested does not leave you doing all the emotional work. Pay attention to how they respond when you share something real. Not every conversation has to be deep, especially early on. But if you share a thought, a small worry, a personal interest, or something meaningful, do they respond with care? Do they ask more? Do they respect what you said? Real interest is not only about flirting. It is also about how someone treats your inner world. Texting culture makes this topic more complicated. Many people try to measure interest through response time. A fast reply can feel exciting, and a slow reply can feel like rejection. But response time alone is not a reliable sign. Some people are naturally fast texters. Some are busy. Some do not enjoy texting much. Some are more expressive in person than online. Instead of focusing only on speed, look at quality and consistency. For example, a person may reply slowly but still give thoughtful responses, ask questions, and make real effort when they can. Another person may reply quickly but give empty answers, never ask anything back, and avoid real connection. The second person may feel more available, but that does not always mean more interested. Interest is not only about how fast someone responds. It is about whether the connection moves forward in a respectful and mutual way. Another sign of interest is follow-through. If someone says they want to talk, meet, call, or spend time together, Do they actually make an effort to do it? Words can be easy, especially in early attraction. Follow-through shows whether the person's actions match what they say. Someone who is interested may not always be perfect, but they usually try to keep small promises and make their intentions easier to understand. Real interest also respects your boundaries. This may sound separate from attraction, but it is deeply connected to healthy connection. A person who is genuinely interested in you as a person does not only want access to your attention. They also care about your comfort. If you need time, space, or a slower pace, they do not pressure you or make you feel guilty. Respect is one of the clearest signs that interest is mature, not just impulsive. Another thing to notice is whether they make room for you in their life in small, realistic ways. This does not mean they must change everything for you. Early connection should not become pressure, but interest often shows through small choices. Making time for a conversation, including you in plans when appropriate, responding with warmth, or showing that your presence matters. These signs do not have to be dramatic. Often, they are simple and steady. It is also important to notice how you feel around them. Do you feel mostly calm, respected, and able to be yourself? Or do you feel constantly confused, anxious, and unsure where you stand? A little nervousness is normal when you like someone, but if the connection regularly makes you feel like you are guessing, chasing, or proving your worth, it may not be giving you enough clarity. Projection can make interest hard to read. Projection happens when we place our hopes or fears onto another person. If you really want them to like you, you may treat neutral behavior as romantic. If you fear rejection, you may treat normal distance as a sign that they do not care. This is why it helps to slow down and ask, what do I actually know from their behavior? Not what you imagine, not what you fear. What is actually happening? Mixed signals are another common issue. Sometimes a person gives attention, then disappears. They seem warm, then distant. They flirt, then act like nothing happened. There can be many reasons for this: uncertainty, immaturity, distraction, lack of readiness, or simply casual interest. But for you, the important question is not always why they are mixed. The question is whether the connection feels healthy and clear enough for you. Someone can be attracted to you without being ready, consistent, or emotionally available. This is an important distinction. Attraction and real interest are not always the same thing. Attraction can be momentary. Real interest usually includes effort, respect, curiosity, and some level of emotional presence. If someone only shows interest when they want attention, but disappears when real communication is needed, that is not the same as stable interest. Another sign to watch for is whether they remember and act on what matters to you. If you told them about something important and they ask about it later, that can show attention. If they remember your preferences, your schedule, your concerns, or something you were excited about, it suggests they are listening. Real interest often appears in these small details because people naturally pay attention to what matters to them. But it is also important not to demand perfection. Someone can be interested and still be nervous, awkward, or unsure how to express it. Some people are not naturally bold. Some people need time to feel comfortable. A person may like you and still not know exactly what to say. That is why you should look for repeated effort, not flawless performance. A healthy way to understand interest is to combine 3 things: words, actions, and emotional effect. What do they say? What do they do? And how does the connection make you feel over time? If the words are sweet, but the actions are absent, something is missing. If the actions are kind, but the words are unclear, more communication may be needed. If the connection constantly harms your peace, it is worth paying attention to that too. If you want more clarity, sometimes the best step is simple communication. You do not have to make it dramatic. You can ask calmly, "I enjoy talking to you. Are you interested in getting to know each other more?" This kind of directness can feel scary, but it can also save you from weeks of guessing. Healthy connection should be able to handle honest, respectful questions. At the same time, you should be ready to accept the answer through both words and behavior. If someone says they are interested but never makes effort, believe the pattern. If someone avoids clarity again and again, that is also information. You do not need to force someone to be clear. You can choose not to stay stuck in confusion. In the end, real interest is usually not hidden in one perfect sign. It shows through consistency, curiosity, effort, respect, and follow-through. It feels less like solving a mystery and more like slowly discovering a person who is also trying to discover you. The right kind of interest does not leave you constantly questioning your value. It gives you enough clarity to feel seen, respected, and emotionally safe. So when you wonder whether someone is actually interested, do not only ask, "Did they text me?" or "Did they smile at me?" Ask better questions. Do they make effort? Do they listen? Do they respect me? Do they follow through? Do I feel like this connection is mutual? Those answers will usually tell you more than any single message ever could. Thank you for watching Love for Beginners. Every relationship starts with understanding, both ourselves and the people around us. If you want to explore more topics like this, support the channel by subscribing and leaving a like. Until next time.